shooter Doug McDermott. And Doug, you are live here on the Allen Stiles Show on Sactown Sports. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's always good to be on with you guys.
So let's start here, Doug. You joined the team last season, and you end up coming back this season. Were you obviously you were excited to come back? Were you surprised at all that you ended up doing another go here in Sacramento? How did that all unfold? Did you know you wanted to come back and play another year out here in Sacramento?
Yeah, no, it was a priority for me to come back if they wanted me, and I was really excited when I got the call saying I was coming back. I go back with Scott Perry from New York days. I was with the Knicks for a season with him. So just to have that relationship with him already and know what he's looking for was huge. And obviously Doug Christie, him taking over, doing a great job for us last year. And, he made it clear to me that he wanted me back. It's always good to, have a guy that's been around the league for a while. And I really look forward to kind of building off of last year, being a mentor, being a good guy in the locker room, and, always being ready when my number's called.
Are there certain guys on the team that you have in your mind? Because obviously, being the sharpshooter that you are there guys on the team that you've maybe spoken with that they've said, "Hey, I want to work on my jump shot," or "I want my release to be quicker"? Are there any guys on the team that you've kind of said, "Hey, I got you this season. I'll help you out however you need"? Obviously, there's shooting coaches and things like that, but how you can help as well, because that's kind of what you're known for.
Yeah, I mean, not too many guys have asked. I've obviously always tried and help when I can. I don't really like to get in the minds of other players too much because,
Right.
I know that everyone has their own shot. But I always try to help if anyone needs it. And, I've had conversations with Devin throughout the years. And obviously, just being in shooting competitions with all these guys, they like watching the way I do something. I like doing something they're doing. And it's like a collaborative effort. And I'll always be here for advice if guys need it, and I'm sure I will use that this year for sure.
Being with the team last season and everything that went down last season going into this season, I know the cliche of unfinished business gets used way too much, but does it feel like you wanted an opportunity to come back with things maybe more so a clean slate after everything that went down, and say, hey, we do have some talent here. If we can get the pieces put together, we go out and get a Dennis Schroeder. We drafted well. I want to come back because I do think there's something here brewing. We just got to put one or two things together, and we'll be right there.
Yeah, I think that obviously having Doug as a full-time head coach now, obviously with his staff, helps a lot. He'll be able to implement the way he wants to play, and obviously adding Dennis to the mix, having a point guard. Last year didn't seem there's times where we felt we didn't have many ball handlers out there, so I feel like that's really going to help us this year be more organized, and just the depth we have is crazy. We have so many guards that can really play, and we have great set of bigs. Adding Drew Eubanks and Dario and Maxi, we're loaded. We're deep, and we just got to find a way to come together and win games.
Yeah, when you look at the rest of the West, I think the term that comes up is no days off, right? But for the Kings, it's moving to the other side of it to where people feel like that when they're facing you as well. You're one of those teams included, and obviously when you look at it from the Kings' perspective, it's who you're facing. But on the opposite side of that, and I think this is something Doug Christie's trying to instill in the team as well, you also want to be looked at as, no, this is not a night off when you come to Sacramento or when we're visiting wherever we're at. This is not going to be a night off either. How has the culture maybe changed a little bit with Scott Perry coming into the fold and, like you said, with Doug Christie getting to start this thing off as the head honcho?
Yeah, it's a huge difference, and like you said earlier, the West is really tough. We know how deep it is. The East is good too, but we need to do a better job of establishing home court. Our record wasn't very good last year, I don't believe, and this is the best crowd you can ask for in the NBA. It's just so passionate, and they're there every single night, up or down. They're going to stay the whole game. So we need to embrace that. We need them every night, and we need to play our tails off for them every single night in order to have a good year. And it starts with protecting home. And, obviously Doug and Bobby and the guys that have played here, they've really stressed that to us. And I think that's going to help us a lot this year.
You've played in this league for a really long time, and I was talking to Keon about this as well. Does it feel like lately there's been more of an emphasis on players needing to kind of find a lane and find a role. Coming up, maybe everybody wanted to be Paul George and everybody wants to get in their bag. Now it feels like every time I'm on social media, there's somebody else talking about, hey guys, there's one star and the rest of you kind of have a role. I know maybe you more so understood that earlier on, but now it feels like you got your 3-and-D guys, your big man, your star, and that's pretty much it. Does it feel like the league is shifting into more of a specialized league, if you will?
Yeah, there's obviously a ton of superstars. We know who they are. And I think if you're not, you got to be one of those guys that embraces your role. And that's something that I kind of took me a few years to figure out, was you're not the best player on the floor anymore.
Right.
Like everyone's the best player on the floor in college, coming out. And you got to quickly realize that, this is a different league. Everyone's good. Everyone's coming from all over the world, and they're just as good as you, if not better. So the quickly you can figure out your role and knowing what you shine at, you got to embrace that. And for me, it became just, more of a specialist, more of an off-ball cutter, and not trying to do too much. And I think that's what's allowed me to be in the league for as long as I have.
Doug McDermott, real quick, Doug, before we get you out of here, you're spending another year in Sacramento, right? You talk so much about the fans. How have you enjoyed Sacramento, the city? Do you have any favorite spots to eat? Any favorite spots? I know Malik is a big golfer now. How have you liked Sacramento as a city?
I love Sac. I truly do. Me and my fiance, we love it here. So many good restaurants. I play a lot of golf with Malik and Zach, all those guys. I think my favorite spot, if I were to say, I really like East Sac. I love the just kind of the dive bars, mom and pop restaurants. It's hard to say my favorite. I mean, there's just so many good ones, but I've enjoyed every moment of it, and the weather's perfect, and everyone's so friendly.
Doug McDermott, thank you for making some time with us. We're happy to have you back, and we'll have more Teach Me How to Dougie sessions the next time you make 6 threes in a row or whatever it was that one night. Because I talked to you the day after that game, and it was a great time, and I'm sure there's more to come.
Let's make it 7 this year.
Let's do it.
Thanks,
Doug
man.
McDermott, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
When we return.